What's up, y'all? It's Ty. In this video today, we're going to be looking at 2-3, talking about the best NBA draft pick at each and every spot. Now, first round won't necessarily be that interesting because, again, obviously you're going to see some high-level talent. But when we get to that second round, that's where I'm going to be super intrigued about each NBA draft pick for every specific spot. Shout out to 2-3. Go smash that subscribe button. The link to his channel will be down below in the description. Got my coffee freshly brewed for this 32-minute video.
The NBA draft, where 30 organizations gathered to select teenagers we just got done betting on 3 months ago in March. That's basically all it really is.
I'm not gonna lie. You bet on March Madness, prepare for your bread to be thrown out the window.
Sometimes they get these draft picks right. Other times, they get them horribly wrong. Sometimes they just become the most mid pick ever. Can't say anything good or bad about them.
Lakers fans hate Taurean Prince. So
sorry, Troydan. I use you as the face of average. At least you aren't this guy, the face of poverty. But let's go to the first thing I said, that sometimes they get these right. There's some teams that seem to never miss on their draft picks. Then there's other teams I think who haven't hit on a draft pick since Thomas Edison was alive. Sorry, Clipper fans. At least you guys drafted Blake Griffin.
Blake Griffin was good, but I mean, Miles Bridges at 12, obviously off the court is rough, but isn't bad. Terrence Mann at 48 is good. Quentin Grimes at 25 is okay. Those aren't bad. It's not bad.
43 years ago now. Shout out Reggie Bullock though. Honestly, a good pick at 25. And no, they drafted Miles Bridges for the Hornets. If they kept Miles, I would have given him a break.
Terrence Mann, he's a Terrence Mann hater. I mean, okay.
Bar. Alright, but for real, every year in the NBA draft, there's good picks, and then there's bad ones. We can literally go back a few years to prove this. I'm not going to go 23, because these guys just played about 70 games so far. I don't know. Let's go to 2020. Anthony Edwards, 1. Good pick. Killian Hayes, 7. Bad pick.
Ant was a good pick, but Wiseman was also bad.
Good pick. Poku 17th, bad pick.
Or Wiseman
Tyrese
was 2?
Maxey 21st, good pick. RJ Hampton 24th, bad pick. You get it. Good picks, bad picks. It's pretty much that simple.
I mean, LaMelo at 3, he's been kind of banged up. I'd say he is a good pick.
So I had a question.
Been so banged up.
Actually, 2 questions. Not that I'm an NBA GM or anything or trying to hate on Killian Hayes, but I think my 2-year-old cousin could read this and tell you how he's going to turn out. Good, but not an elite athlete. Lacks an explosive first step. He needs to bulk up his body. At times, he just plays too fast.
Whoever wrote this is a next level Killian Hayes hater.
Still learning some of the nuances of playing point guard. Tries to do too much too soon on offense. Has the tendency to force things. How do you read that and say, yeah, this is the guy I want to run my franchise for the next 20 years? Makes no sense.
At 7 is
second
crazy.
Question, since there's so many hits and misses in the NBA draft, what's the biggest hit at each spot for the NBA draft all time? So what did I do? I dug the internet, and then I dug some more, and I went through every single NBA draft to ever happen. I rewatched every single minute of every NBA draft ever. Not only did I watch...
No chance you went back and watched every minute of every NBA draft. That literally would take you weeks.
Watched the draft though, but I watched every player's pre-draft interview. I read every single player's draft scouting report. I reached out to every player ever's high school coach.
Oh, he's lying. I was gonna say this is
3-hour interview process to get a true evaluation of their skill set.
He's lying. Okay,
but not only did I do all that, for every player, I took their height, their weight, their vertical, their career points per game average. I multiplied all those numbers by each other to get the player's estimate draft evaluation score.
Stop the cap.
Alright, I just yapped for a minute. I did none of that. I don't even think pre-draft evaluation score is a real thing. Actually, I know it's not because I just came up with it 2 seconds ago. But even though I did cap about all that other stuff, I did do this. I found the best players selected at every draft.
I was going to say, you don't need to watch every minute of every draft to find the best
first pick ever, the best second pick ever, the best third pick, all the way through 30.
That would be nuts.
I didn't do second round, but if you guys like this, I'd definitely do the same.
Oh, he didn't do second round? That's what I was intrigued about.
The second round.
Okay, I mean.
But without further ado, we may as well get into it.
Start at 30?
And with the first pick.
The Cleveland Cavaliers select LeBron James.
Can't argue it, man.
I mean, come on. Who else was it going to be? The only sunshine, LeBron James. unarguably a top 2 basketball player of all time.
I mean, you can't argue that.
And the other dude in the
saying.
argument wasn't first, so by my evaluation, that makes LeBron unarguably the best first pick of all time. The first pick was easily the most stacked pick, though. I mean, but the other candidates included Kareem, Duncan, Magic, Shaq.
Nah, it's Bron by
the 10 greatest players of all time selected first. I was really considering picking Anthony Bennett to be the guy for the first spot, but I decided not to.
Crazy.
But LeBron's had a pretty decent career. 4-time
Coffee
champion,
is so hot, it's
MVP,
fogging up my glasses.
20-time All-Star, the NBA's all-time leading scorer.
Man.
I guess you could say that's okay. But really, when LeBron was coming into the NBA, I'm not sure anyone has ever had the hype he did. The guy had a Sports Illustrated cover with the title Chosen One at like 17 years old.
The amount of pressure Bron had and how well he's done throughout his career is crazy.
And it panned out. I don't care if you want to put on one or two, but he's one of the 2 greatest players to ever pick up a basketball. Him and Jan Vesely. But now, we got to move on to the second pick.
Nuts.
And with the second pick, actually, there's no footage of this. With the second pick in the NBA draft, the St. Louis Hawks select Bill Russell. If I were the Hawks owner today, even 100 years later, I'd still be pissed as hell that we traded Bill Russell when we drafted him. The guy ended up with 5 MVPs and 11 championships.
I think I remember reading something about this, but it makes no sense why they even traded him.
That guy. One of the most legendary players ever. I mean, you know how great you got to be that no player ever could wear your jersey number again? You definitely got to be like average to above average, I would say. But 2 really wasn't that close. My other options were KD and Jerry West.
Not close.
Both great. Both probably top 20 players of all time.
Not close.
Neither are Bill Russell. 11 rings in 13 seasons. And old Ed
that Celtics team was stacked, but
still tell you that he's the GOAT. But number 2, maybe the most loved player of all time, Bill Russell.
I would kick your ass.
Bill is crazy.
Now we got to move on to the third pick.
MJ, right?
And with the third pick,
The Chicago Bulls pick Michael Jordan.
This one was really close. I was between Michael Jordan and Enes Kanter. MJ has a slight edge, though.
Isn't that freedom now? Anyways.
6 championships, 5 MVPs. The guy most people consider the greatest player to ever pick up a basketball. In reality, the only guy who really
Too bad they buffed his stats.
The competition for the third spot was Will Chamberlain.
I'd have put, honestly, if I was to do this video, I don't know. I think I gotta go MJ. But I think talent-wise, for his era, Wilt was better. But I think achievements, everything, you gotta go MJ.
If you want to call it a competition.
I think it is.
Is there anyone else with so many songs about them? Jumpman, 23, Michael Jordan, the list goes on all day. The third pick is Michael Jordan. It was always Michael Jordan, and it's probably always going to be Michael Jordan. But that brings us to the fourth pick.
Glaze.
And with the fourth pick,
I have no idea.
The Seattle Supersonics select Russell Westbrook from UCLA.
Really, Russ is the best 4th pick of all time. And I'm not hating on Russell Westbrook, but that's kind of surprising to me.
Yep, Russell Westbrook. I know a lot of you are going to disagree with it, but I'm going to stand on my opinion. With however Russell Westbrook plays right now, don't forget who this guy was in the late 2010s.
Nah, prime MVP
NBA
Russ
MVP,
was crazy.
9-time All-Star. In his peak, the guy averaged a triple-double 3 times in 4 years. There's only one other guy who ever averaged a triple-double, and he did it once. The reason I said a bunch of you were going to disagree is because the other guy you could have put here is Chris Paul. So at that point, I feel like it's pick your poison.
Who do y'all think has had a better career? Let me know in the comments. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think...
And although I think most people probably would go with CP3...
I think at their peak, Russ was a better player. I think CP's had a longer and better career overall.
In this situation, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to go with Westbrook. Sorry, I do love Rondo, though. I mean, Chris Paul. One of the greatest players of my childhood.
I do think
Russ just
CP
feels like the right option here for
career.
me. And if I'm being honest, I'm still trying to figure out what this question means.
Russ, did you guys lose this game or did the Jazz win this one?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
That is a crazy question. Is he trying to say, like, did you guys blow the game or throw the game, or did they deserve... Like, that is a crazy question.
Bro, I'm out, man. That nigga's tripping.
All right, so it's time for number 5.
That is a crazy question.
With the 5th pick,
The Minnesota Timberwolves select Kevin Garnett.
The one thing my Timberwolves did right, man.
if you look up dog in the dictionary, you're just going to find Kevin Garnett. Dog. Noun. Definition, Kevin Garnett. But although KG shows up in the dictionary, I know for a fact my guy did not study it enough.
Kinda like naming NFL equivalent for each NBA player.
Sorry, KG.
What did he say?
Like naming NFL equivalent for each.
He like skipped over the
NBA
word. That's
player.
crazy.
Sorry, KG. It's funny every time though. But KG,
That's crazy.
champion, MVP,
Don't matter though. 15-time All-Star. Come on,
All-Star. He's got the whole accolades.
Put some
book filled
respect
out.
on his name.
The 5th pick was really a stacked one too. Probably the 2nd or 3rd most stacked one overall. My other options were Pippen, Charles Barkley,
Nah,
Dwayne
KG
Wade.
deserves it.
Honestly, I could see you going with any of the 4, but I feel like KG was just the right pick here.
He's
dude
the
was a
best
sad
player here.
bitch. You guys still don't know what team I'm a fan of, but I'll give you one hint. Kevin Garnett used to torture my team when I was growing up. Made me hate the dude, but as I got older, I appreciated the greatness. But Kevin Garnett trying to get a drunk Paul Pierce to shut the hell up on a live stream in Vegas is still one of the funniest videos of last year.
This is my girlfriend for the day. They got a website that you can hire a girlfriend for the day.
Stop, man.
And so I got a girlfriend.
Stop, man.
Bro, Paul Pierce, what are we doing though? You got a girlfriend for the day? I mean, okay, congrats.
You can hire girlfriends for the
Stop,
day.
man. Well,
I went on the website and I hired a
look right
girlfriend
here.
for the day.
Look.
Number 6. With the 6th pick,
That's just a crazy thing.
Can't find a video of this either. Well, with the 6th pick, the Boston Celtics select Larry Bird. How can I not find a Larry Bird draft
It's
video?
not that
That's
long ago.
crazy. It's not that long ago.
It's not.
Anyway, Larry Legend, arguably a top 5 player in hoops
It
history.
was his 6th pick.
Definitely
It's
a
kinda
top
crazy.
10 player ever. 3-time champion, 3-time MVP, 12-time All-Star, and 100% as the coldest quote in NBA history. As far as playing, I don't care who guarded me. Red, yellow, black. I just didn't want a white guy guarding me because it's disrespect to my game. That's hilarious. That's
That's a crazy. That's just a crazy.
like Spider-Man saying he
crazy
won't
quote.
fight this Spider-Man from Spider-Man 3 because it's disrespectful to spiders. He needs to be fighting the Green Goblin, not this weak-ass Spider-Man. I know, it's Venom, but you get what I mean. But for Bird, there was
crazy
no real
statement.
competition for this pick. The next best player drafted 6 was Damian Lillard. He's a
Yikes.
borderline top 50 player ever. Bird's borderline 5. So
Bird
6,
is so
the
much
coldest
better
shit
than
talker of
Larry.
all time, Larry Bird.
Larry Bird will tell you, I'm going to take you over to this corner. I'm going to dribble 2 times. I'm going to hit your ass in the face. And it bet not touch the rim. Then he said, if it do, I'm going to come right back and do it again until it touch it. That's how Larry Bird used to get at.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Larry Bird was a cold.
It's crazy that Larry was out there talking crazy. That's wild to me.
Number 7.
wild.
With the 7th pick,
You know,
The Golden State Warriors select
this should have been. He should have went to Minnesota, man.
Stephen Curry from Davidson College.
Sad.
there wasn't really much
Should've been a Wolf.
competition for the 7th pick. Well, any for Curry. He's a top 15 player ever and maybe top 10. And honestly, I've seen a lot of people have him in their top 5. And everyone knows he's the guy that changed basketball forever.
He
You can't
did.
do that anymore. You know why? Because I believe in 08, 09, or whenever that little light-skinned fucker came in the league that's in Golden State, he changed that whole narrative.
The greatest shooter.
Steph, and look, JJ's coaching for LeBron now. It's crazy. They were having one. Anyways, Steph changed the game forever.
Steph Curry. A
Little
4-time
kids wanted to be
champion,
like Steph,
2-time
man.
MVP, 10-time All-Star as of right now. Definitely going to end with a lot more. But there's no really debating that Steph Curry belongs here. It was him or Killian Hayes. And yeah, I was tempted to go with Hayes, but I contained
Killian
myself.
Hayes is crazy.
And although most people like
I
Steph
do wanna
Curry,
know who the
there's
next
definitely
best
people
would
who
be.
do hate Steph Curry. What NBA player infuriates you the most, and explain why? For me, Steph Curry because of his damn mouthpiece chewing and his baby face. Sorry
Babyface is crazy. The mouthpiece,
for
I
being
get
too
it,
salty.
though.
Edit. More reasons to not like Curry. Edit 2. We must release all the hate people. Relax, bro. What did Curry do to you? Would he rob you or something? We must release all the hate people.
He robbed the
That guy's fiending for
Timberwolves
some Curry negativity.
of
Crazy.
greatness.
But number 7, the top 2 point guard of all time, Stephen Curry. But that would
Is he top 2 or top 1? Y'all let me
bring
know.
us to 8. And with the 8th pick, if we ain't getting a Larry Bird draft footage, we are definitely not getting draft footage for this dude. But with the 8th pick, the Golden State Warriors selected Robert Parrish. Yeah, the 8th pick was extremely weak, I can't lie.
Robert Parrish is not bad. Okay, putting Franz Wagner on here is absolutely
It was
wild.
Parrish, Andre Miller, Sam Jones, and Franz Wagner. Actually, wait. Frank Ntilikina was the 8th pick. There we go. But for real, Parrish had a great career.
Parrish was
Four-time
not
champion,
bad.
9-time
Like, I don't know why he says it's weak. Parrish was good.
All-Star, the most games played in NBA history. That's got to count for something. And apparently, everyone called Robert Parrish Slim. Honestly, that's a fire nickname if everyone's just...
I mean, he was 7'1", 230. That is kind of slim.
Number 8, Slim Parrish. But then we got to go to pick number 9. And with the 9th pick...
The Milwaukee Bucks select Dirk Nowitzki from Würzburg, Germany.
If I were a Bucks fan, honestly, I'd think about the Dirk trade every day. Dirk is literally an NBA franchise. The Texas teams are the Spurs, Rockets, and Dirk. That could have been...
yeah, until Luka wins a championship.
And you guys, Milwaukee. But now you got Giannis, so I guess it is what it is. But Dirk Nowitzki, NBA champion, NBA MVP, 14-time
It's crazy how many All-Star appearances these guys have. 14 times.
One of the greatest power forwards in the history of the sport. Probably the most patent move in basketball history. If they ever changed the logo, low-key, it's got to be the Dirk fade.
That fade was
But for
filthy.
Dirk, it wasn't that close. Who else was going to be 9th? The other options were John Havlicek and T-Mac.
Prime T-Mac was special.
But Dirk's the obvious choice of the 3. Or I was thinking of giving it to Kevin Knox because of the draft day suit.
Kevin Knox got a spot on a summer league team. The Warriors, I think?
But yeah, the face of the Dallas Mavericks franchise. A player that no one hates. Number 9, some random dude from the Cleveland show.
Dirk Nowitzki.
English is not my first language. What is this, dork?
It means handsome.
Oh, thank you.
Shaq's in trouble.
Shaq, wish yourself out of there.
For the last time, Dirk, Kazam was not real.
But it seems so real.
Okay, so now we're looking at number 10. And
I like these videos, man, because you know, he puts in good clips, man. I like it.
I can assure you on everything I love, we're not getting a video of this one. With the 10th pick, the New York Knicks select Willis Reed. The 10th pick was up in the air for 2 players.
Didn't he play on a broken leg and win a championship?
It was between Willis Reed and Paul
Why does
Pierce.
nobody talk about
Also,
that?
shout out to Paul George. He might get here one day.
Paul George,
but for now,
if he gets a ring, I think
Willis
he's
Reed.
up here.
A 2-time champion,
Willis
an
Reed was
MVP,
special, though.
a 7-time All-Star. That MVP is the thing that put him over the edge for Pierce for me. Every time I hear Willis Reed's name, though, I think of this. Or when Willis Reed stood so tall, playing D with desire, it's basketball. No joke, that's pretty easily the most legendary 2K intro of all time. Maybe the most legendary 2K song of all time. I need you guys to...
Man, 2K used to be so special.
Answer the age-old question, though.
It did.
Who's got the better version? Curtis Blow or Bow Wow? That's tough.
Man,
Off
I
topic,
don't
though,
know.
Number 10, Willis Reed from the New York Knicks. The guy who somehow played a finals game on one leg.
Like, do y'all realize how crazy that is?
To Reed on the forecourt, right side from 20, jumps, yes! Willis has hit on his first.
Alright, so now we're moving on. This time, number 11. And with the 11th pick...
The Pacers select Reggie Miller of UCLA.
Talk about a steal at number 11.
I feel like top 10, it's normally you find a lot of gems. 11 or later, it gets tough sometimes.
5-time NBA All-Star, 8 points in 9 seconds. One of the best commentators in the game right now. You know who he is. The 11th pick was kind of weak, though.
Reggie Miller is crazy as a commentator.
Either Reggie Miller or Klay Thompson. So Reggie Miller...
Y'all tell me, man. I don't know. Clay's career is special.
Or Reggie Miller 2.0. You decide. Here's one of my favorite Reggie Miller moments of all time, though.
And I think Anthony Davis is starting to recognize, you know what? I may be the best player on the floor, no pun intended, Steph Curry.
This guy does not know what a pun is. He didn't use a pun, and then he said no pun intended. A man of his word.
I just don't know as Reggie as a commentator, and I'm not hating on him, I just don't know.
But number 11, the second greatest Reggie of all time, Reggie Miller. After Reggie Bullock, of course. Speaking of Reggie Bullock...
I thought Reggie Bullock was going to be tough.
I'm going to Bullock Island. Y'all need anything? Just let me know in the comments. And yes, this is Reggie Bullock's actual island. Alright, let's move on. Number 12. With the 12th pick, another video we're not finding. So here's a video of him at the draft in 2014. With the 12th pick, the Milwaukee Bucks select Julius Erving. The Bucks seem to be really good at
what a steal, man. Dr. J,
drafting
what
and
a
then
steal.
trading all-time greats before they actually put on a Bucks uniform. But besides Dr. J, the 12th pick was pretty easily the most mid pick of this video so far. My other options were basically Halliburton and Thaddeus Young. Although it was kind of hard not to pick Thaddeus Young, he's one of 5 players ever to play 800 games and average 13.5 points, 5.9 rebounds, 1.4 steals, and shoot 49% from the field and 30 from 3. I mean,
I mean, I guess, but that's not even that impressive of a stat line to me. I guess the rebounds combined with steals is rare, but like...
Come on. That's the main stat that matters when you're talking about basketball.
What are we talking
But
about?
ultimately, I did go with Dr. J. After he got drafted, he's a 3-time champion, 4-time MVP, 16-time All-Star. That's ABA and NBA combined.
I mean, yeah.
But either way, he was that guy. He was a
so
today-level
good.
athlete playing in the 1970s versus plumbers and firemen. Nowadays, he'd be that athlete against Twitch streamers and YouTubers. So you pick which is better. Plus, he pretty...
And it's only going to get worse with Jared McCain in the league now, man. We got TikTokers in the league.
Easily is the coldest nickname in NBA history. So number 12, we're going with Dr. J, Julius Erving. And that will bring us to number 13.
With the 13th pick in the 1996 NBA Draft, the Charlotte Hornets select Kobe Bryant from Lower Merion High
That's
School.
crazy.
Hornets fans,
And he went 13. Like, that's
I
crazy to
hope your
look
ears
back
were
on.
closed. Because that's an absolute botch. Kobe was pretty good, I think. MVP, 5-time champion, 18-time All-Star.
18 All-Star
Just one of the
appearances.
GOATs. My other option here was Karl Malone, but honestly, it really isn't even close.
Karl Malone got drafted at 13. Never mind. Forget what I...
Every time I think of Kobe, though, I think of this. Someone please tell me they know what I'm talking about. There's a video where some fan is messing around with the player, I think it's Kevin Durant, and they start saying you're not as good as Kobe. Then they go, Kobe, 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 and just kept saying his name. It's always stuck in my head, but I just can't find it anywhere.
I think I do know. I think I've seen that clip before. I think I have.
But yeah, Kobe is easily one of the greatest players of all time.
And
Every list
influential players, too.
You see him anywhere from like 3 to 12. So the 13th best pick of all time, Kobe Bryant from Modern Family.
What can I do for you? You like being a basketball player? Serious?
Just a
I
horrible
didn't think you'd
question.
look up here at me. No preparation next time. It's a mental game. Duly noted. All right.
Now we're looking at the 14th pick. With the 14th pick, man, I'm struggling to find some of these picks videos. But with the 14th pick, the Portland Trailblazers select Clyde Drexler.
Clyde the
about good
Glide.
nicknames. Imagine everyone called you Clyde the Glide. That's fire.
That
but
is
the
fire.
14th pick was actually a really good one. Clyde did have some competition. Tim Hardaway, Peja Stojakovic,
crazy.
3 great players really. But ultimately, I decided Clyde's the best
Gotta
of the
go.
3.
It's gotta be Clyde.
And I'm pretty confident in that pick. He's a 10-time All-Star and an NBA champion. And no
Just
joke,
look at how smooth he's gliding, man.
Clyde is maybe the biggest 2K cheat code of all time.
He
The
is,
guy's just
for
gonna
sure.
dunk on anyone and everyone. Basically, the way he did in real life, I guess. I wasn't born yet to watch Clyde Drexler, or even close to being born, but I get the vibe that he was like a Zach Randolph type guy. Obviously way better and a completely different skill set, but just
I
a
was gonna
player
say-
everyone loves.
I was gonna say,
mean,
what?
Look at how people talk about him. The one thing many people don't talk about is how Clyde Drexler was off the court. He was a well-spoken, very respectful, down-to-earth kind of guy.
That's what I'm
a
talking
Chi-Town native and a lifelong Bulls fan. Clyde was fucking amazing in the 90s. Cool as jazz. You know how cool you gotta be to be as cool as jazz? That's a top-tier compliment. But number 14, Clyde the Glide Drexler. And that brings us to the halfway point. Number 15.
Don't give me no
With the
scrub.
15th pick.
Don't give me no scrub.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
It is crazy. You have Kobe at 13, Giannis at 15. These are all-time greats.
Yep.
And yeah, I said it. Giannis is an all-time great. I don't care.
Giannis. It's not really a question anymore. The guy's an all-time great.
I say things, I swear, right before other people say it. It's nuts.
A 2-time MVP, an NBA champion, an 8-time All-Star already. I mean, he's this young doing this. Well, he is 29 now. Unk's pushing 50. But he's still got some time left.
He does. He needs to develop some, outside game.
15th pick was easily one of the most stacked of the whole video. 3 all-time greats. Giannis, Nash, and Kawhi. Honestly, this is a really close race between all 3 of them.
I'm not gonna lie. If Kawhi could have had his healthy career, he would be
I
up
think
here.
it's Giannis. Although, he did do this the other day. Come on, Giannis.
What
You're
in
better
the
than
what
that.
in the what am I watching on a potato?
But if you don't like watching
that
Giannis
quality
play
was
defense,
sad.
you're crazy. Unless it's against your favorite team, then I get it. But speaking of Giannis and the Bucks, I gotta show the most insane Reddit post of all time. I just found out that my Milwaukee Bucks won an NBA championship, and I cannot contain my excitement. Hey all, Craig here. I used to relatively frequent Milwaukee Bucks and NBA shitposter back in the day, spreading the good word of my favorite NBA player.
What is this?
Malcolm Brogdon. Insane start already. A few years back, I took a backpacking trip through Eastern Europe and admittedly made some poor decisions which led to an extended stay in a Russian prison. Recently, I was released and was able to make my way back to my friend's place in Munich, who's been debriefing me on some pop culture events that I missed while work towards rebuilding my life. Side note, Shazam's my favorite superhero,
Man,
and I can't wait to watch both his movies. I know nothing about the current state of the NBA, just that my Bucks won a title. How's the league looking? Any up-and-comers? New strong
This
teams?
is nuts.
Exciting storylines? Insane post for so many reasons, but makes me laugh every single time. So funny.
That's insane. So I don't have
Number
Reddit.
15, Giannis Antetokounmpo, one of the bigger draft day steals in the past 15 years. Probably second. But that brings us to the latter half of the draft. And with the 16th pick,
The Utah Jazz select John Stockton of Gonzaga University.
what's that one guy say? Little Johnny Stockton?
Stockton, had, the assist numbers he had is ridiculous.
Little John Stockton, Little John Johnny Stockton.
That's it.
What? I've never heard that before.
Yeah, John Stockton, the NBA's all-time leading assister and stealer. 10-time NBA All-Star. The guy's one of the most elite point guards of all time. Stockton didn't really have much competition. Not that these guys are bad, but they aren't Stockton.
Vucevic.
Although I do love Meta
He
World
said Vucevic.
Peace, but then we're looking at Vooch and Hito Turkoglu, but they're not Stockton.
He said Vucevic.
And you know what they say about Stockton? He's the definition of longevity. More games missed than LeBron, playoffs missed, shortened seasons, and swept in the playoffs more times. The best to ever do it, Little Johnny Stockton.
That's just
Little
crazy.
John Stockton,
Just a crazy trying to compare
Little
them.
John Johnny Stockton.
Alright, number 17. With the 17th pick,
The Seattle Supersonics select Sean Kemp from Trinity
That's crazy.
Valley,
He was
Texas.
17th pick. I didn't know
Sean Kemp
that.
had a really solid NBA career. He's a 6-time All-Star. The 17th pick wasn't great. I mean, it wasn't awful. We're looking at Sean Kemp, Jermaine O'Neal, Drew Holiday.
I'll be the one to say it right now. Drew Holiday is going to go down as he needs to get respect. He is an ultimate winner, man. What Drew Holiday does needs to be respected.
I feel like 3 All-NBA second teams, though, deserves the spot out of these guys.
He probably does.
Plus, the fact that he versed Michael Jordan in the finals baked out of his mind, shout out to him for that. If Kemp played in the Twitter era, I promise he'd have a new highlight video on a House of Highlights every single night. And although he wasn't
Uber
Gary Payton, of
athletic.
course, he was always his Robin, and they made the finals, so you can't complain about that. Although, try and take a guess who Sean Kemp's favorite player in today's NBA is and the guy he sees himself in. I'll give you a minute. Alright.
I don't know. Who's super athletic? Derrick Jones Jr.? I don't know.
Ready? I know for a fact you didn't get it, because it's Fred VanVleet. My favorite player to watch is Fred VanVleet. He's a difference maker. I look at him as myself when I came in. How? That's a 17th pick power forward versus an undrafted point guard. I don't know.
That's
but 17
ridiculous.
is Sean Kemp, which means we got to
But whatever makes Sean Kemp happy.
That's a number 18. And with the 18th
Whatever, man.
pick,
The Detroit Pistons select Joe Dumars of McNeese State.
getting a guy who could be your second best player on multiple championship teams doesn't really happen often at 18. Dumars is a 2-time champion, a 6-time All-Star, and yeah, he was always Isaiah Thomas's right-hand man. But who cares if you're winning rings?
Exactly. I mean,
really
that's
between Joe
that's
Dumars
the
and Mark
fact.
Jackson with the 18th pick. But with all due respect,
Dumars
I had to
was
go
uber
Dumars.
quick.
I'm shocked you downplayed Savannah. He said she was all city.
James again from downtown.
And I'd hit out the park. No question. With all due respect.
The most disrespectful with all due respect of all time. But now, number 19. And with the 19th pick, I'll let you know right now we are not getting this footage. So with the 19th pick, the Cincinnati Royals select Nate Tiny Archibald. But Tiny was actually great. This is a steal at 19. Well, I guess all these guys are going to be steals from here on out, but you know what I mean. Tiny was a 6-time All-Star, an NBA champion. I do want to give a shout out to Zebo, the Junkyard Dog. Also picked the 19.
It's crazy. Tiny, like guys like this that are so small, finding a way in the league, like that's impressive. And I don't care when he played, like it's still impressive.
One of my favorite players of all time. But Tiny led the NBA in points and assists in the same season. That's just stupid
That
when
is
you think about it.
crazy.
Why we call this dude Tiny though? He was 6'1". I'm out here struggling at 5'10".
I mean, he weighed what, 160 maybe?
Anyway, number 19, Nate Tiny
150?
Archibald.
He looks tiny.
And that brings us to 20. With the 20th pick, Phoenix Suns
Select Larry Nance
senior.
from the University of
I was like, what?
Yeah, that's the closest we're getting to finding that footage. But Larry Nance, 3-time NBA All-Star, it was either him or Ilgauskas.
I'm not gonna lie, the 20th
and I
pick
think
is
Larry
weak.
Nance pretty easily gets that edge. No joke though, my guy has the craziest picture in NBA history. What is going on here? Either there's no way he finished this, or they just told him to jump straight up for the picture. He's straight up parallel with the backboard. But although it's kind of hard to find Larry Nance senior footage, ESPN did give Larry Nance Jr. the greatest edit of all time. And yes, this is a real edit that ESPN posted.
I do remember seeing this.
Alright, pick 21. With the 21st pick,
The Phoenix Suns select Rajon Rondo from the University of Kentucky.
imagine trading one of the best passers ever before he even played. While you have
It's crazy that Rondo really couldn't shoot and how good he was.
Steve Nash, who he could have learned under.
It is
Damn,
crazy.
What could have been? I mean, the guy ended up becoming so influential, rappers literally named themselves after him. Rondo number 9, Rondo. Rondo was just awesome to watch play basketball.
He was fun,
Although,
man.
he may have the weirdest game day ritual of all time. 5 showers on a game day, drink 5 bottles of water on the way to the game, and put a tube of Carmex in his sock.
That is weird. I'm not gonna lie. People have weird routines, but that's
Weird.
maybe the weirdest.
Either way, Rondo, 2-time champion, 4-time All-Star, the greatest player ever picked 21st. My favorite point guard, Chris Paul.
That's my favorite point guard, Chris Paul, man. Chris Paul. Oh, man, what's up, man? Who? You ain't Chris Paul?
Nah, who are you?
Oh, you ain't Chris? Oh, you wrong person?
Now we got the 22nd pick.
It's crazy.
With the 22nd pick, $20 goes to whoever can find this footage. With the 22nd pick, the Philadelphia 76ers select George McGinnis. First off, rest in peace.
I don't know much about McGinnis' career.
And I mean no disrespect when I say this, but the 22nd pick was probably the most mid out of any pick.
That's what I'm
McGinnis
saying,
was
like-
definitely great. I mean, combine the NBA and ABA, he's a 6-time All-Star, and he won the ABA MVP.
I mean, an MVP in
Actually,
the
I guess it's
ABA
not
is-
really mid.
It's
Seems
impressive.
like I'm just not up to date on my George McGinnis lore. Damn. But the rest of the options at 22 were Norm Nixon, Truck
He put
Robinson,
Jarrett Allen in
Jared
there.
Allen.
Ew.
So yeah, mid.
Ew.
But if we're talking coolest names, they may be one. Norm Nixon and Truck Robinson.
I want to name my
bet
kid Truck.
for someone else to try and beat that.
I like it.
But yeah, number 22, George McGinnis. And that brings us to 23.
Truck.
With the 23rd
I
pick,
actually don't like it, okay? I
close
don't.
your ears, Bucks fans. The Milwaukee Bucks select Alex English. I did
Why
not
did
know
the
the
Bucks select all these guys and
Bucks
trade?
selected English, if I'm being completely honest, until now. But damn, they trade every great they draft.
That's what I'm
and
saying.
want to talk about an underrated bucket.
And then in this draft, they drafted some no-name that played a minute a game in Australia. Like, the Bucks drafts need to be studied.
Alex English is easily one of the first names that come up. English was the greatest nugget of all time till that other dude showed up. What's his name again? Bane, I think? The Penguin? Catwoman? I don't know. I just know it's a Batman villain. But for English,
All I
a couple
know,
years
man, Jokic is going to go down as one of the best to ever do it.
ago with COVID, my guy was trying to come out of retirement. Would have pulled an Uncle Drew, I'm not even going to lie.
That'd have been crazy.
English and Jokic together would have been unstoppable. But number 23, the most honest man of basketball, Alex English.
Have you ever dunked on like Larry Bird and Michael Jordan?
No.
Now we're looking at 24. With the
That kid was so happy and no.
24th pick,
Maybe he said he
The
dunked her on somebody
Memphis
else.
Grizzlies select Kyle Lowry of Villanova University.
Lowry had a good career, man.
Kyle Lowry.
Y'all gonna hate
probably
on
the
it,
greatest Raptor of all time.
He had a good career.
An NBA champion, a 6-time All-Star. This was a really close race between two people for the 24th pick. Actually, I had Latrell Sprewell until about 30 seconds ago, but then I changed my mind. Lowry just feels like a safer pick here. And I know the jokes you want me to make about Kyle Lowry, I'm not doing it.
I mean,
Nope.
you're not doing it,
I
but
will
look.
I know
like,
the jokes you want me to
look.
make about Kyle Lowry, I'm not
Look.
doing
Look.
it.
Anyway.
Nope. But I will show this tweet. Kyle Lowry has a ring and a fat ass. A lot of you bitches can't relate.
That's crazy.
Insane.
That
But
is
Larry
a
really-
crazy tweet.
I feel like no one dislikes Kyle Lowry. I mean, who
He's a
else is taking
flopper,
charges
though.
in the All-Star game?
That is crazy.
Okay, so now we're at pick 25. And with the 25th pick, the Dallas Mavericks select Mark Price. 5'11" white boy. That's something I can relate to. Unfortunately, I can't relate to being a 4-time NBA All-Star though. The only other guy who was really even in consideration for this pick was Gerald Wallace.
Gerald Wallace, the 2K
but yeah,
GOAT.
it's Mark Price. Probably the best Cavalier ever to wear a number in the 20s and make an All-NBA first team. So yeah, number 25,
Yeah,
mark
forget
price.
Braun, man.
But that would bring us
they
to
were burning his jersey and
26.
stuff. And then he brought him a
the
ring.
26 pick,
Crazy.
The Los Angeles Lakers select Vlade Divac.
I lied about George McGinnis. This is the weakest pick. Although Vlade was a one-time All-Star,
No way he's actually here.
the only other real option here was Taj Gibson. I guess Vlade wins.
At
And although
what
Vlade was a
pick?
great draft pick when he was drafted, he definitely doesn't know how to draft.
This is nuts.
You know, took Marvin Bagley over Luka Doncic. Anyways, 26, Vlade Divac. But that will bring us to the next pick. And with the 27th pick,
26 pick
the
is
Detroit
crazy.
Pistons select Dennis Rodman. I'm struggling to find these draft picks this late. But Dennis Rodman, the most interesting NBA player.
I would have loved Dennis Rodman on the court, man. His hustle, his grit, I
An
loved it.
undersized forward who's arguably the greatest rebounder ever, a 5-time champion, 2-time All-Star, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, just a winner. 27 was actually a really good pick too. 2 of the greatest defenders of all time, Dennis.
Big Roo? Nah, the 4-time DPOY got snubbed. Rudy got snubbed. Nah.
Rodman and Rudy Gobert. But Rodman seems like the obvious choice of the two. And plus, the guy
Rudy got snubbed.
did what he wanted.
I don't care.
Remember
Rudy
when
got
he didn't
snubbed.
want to go to practice and just wanted to hang out with Hulk Hogan?
And they
doesn't want to come back. He wants to hang out with us. I don't know what to tell you.
All right, number 28. With the 28th pick,
The San Antonio Spurs select Tony Parker of Racing
Ridiculous.
Club Paris.
It's ridiculous.
I know I said
At
this so many
28 is
times
crazy.
already, but oh my god, that's a steal.
It is.
4-time champion, 6-time All-Star. Tony Parker seems to be liked by most people, I would say, except one guy, Tyler the Creator. We be hitting models like Tony Parker be hitting bottles. Tell Tony Parker that I found his vision, and if he's tripping off my sneak dissing, then he has to deal with me and my minions. Tyler, what did Tony do to you, bro?
Literally, oh my god.
Maybe Tyler's like a Laker fan or something, I don't know. But number 28, NBA Hall of Famer, Tony Parker.
He had Dirk on
And now we're
skates
looking
right
at
there.
the
Y'all
last
see
2
that?
picks. With the 29th pick, the Seattle Supersonics select Dennis Johnson. Dennis Johnson is a 3-time NBA champion, 5-time All-Star, so pretty good resume if I had to say.
It is.
It was pretty much Dennis Johnson, DeJounte Murray,
Dennis
or Tony
by far.
Kukoc. But DJ seems like the obvious pick of
Maybe
the 3.
DeJounte will go to New Orleans and have a good career. Who knows?
But now, Mr. Irrelevant. With the 30th pick,
The Chicago Bulls select Jimmy Butler.
Get him off my screen. I'm not listening to Jimmy Butler, man. I'm not listening to it, guys. He probably is the 30th best pick, but I'm not listening to it. I don't like Jimmy Butler, and I'm not going to listen to it. Not going to do it. So that's where we're going to end, guys. As a Timberwolves fan, Jimmy and I don't see eye to eye. Drop a like on the video, guys. Subscribe if you are new. And as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.